What's happening, everybody? The college football season is finally upon us. We have the Florida Gators and Miami Hurricanes to kick things off on Saturday night. Before we get into that game, we're going to kick it over to the Turkey Man, who's going to tell you about all of the best betting options in PA and New Jersey.
Let's borrow this. Yeah, for those of you in PA, go to crossingbroad.com/FD. We recommend FanDuel Sportsbook. That'll get you a $500 risk-free bet. Those of you in New Jersey, recommend DraftKings Sportsbook. And William Hill, go to crossingbroad.com/DK for DraftKings/WH for William Hill. By the way, activating those links will activate the most current promos at any of those sportsbooks. So make sure you go crossingbroad.com/FD if you're in PA, or DK and WH if you're in New Jersey. Bob, for the preview, gobble gobble.
Is that an accent rope?
You give me a rain.
All right, so let's break down this game. First thing we need to know, Florida Gators are a 7.5-point favorite currently at FanDuel Sportsbook. The total sits at 47. This game actually opened between 50 and 50.5 points at a lot of sportsbooks a few weeks ago, and since has come down all the way to 47 points. Why has that happened? First thing we want to know on the offensive side of the ball in terms of the Gators, Felipe Franks, 24 touchdowns, 6 interceptions a season ago. A lot of people expect him to take the next step under Dan Mullen this season. In order to do so, he's going to have to play with a line replacing 4 starters from a season ago. That lack of continuity is a cause for concern, especially against a defense like the Miami Hurricanes have that many consider to be elite and that Manny Diaz had clicking at the end of last season. The other factor, Florida was outstanding running the football season ago, 213 yards per game, but again, lack of continuity in the offensive line. Will leading rusher in 2018, Lamichael Pirine, be able to replicate that success? That remains an unknown. In terms of what Miami comes into the game with, tons of question marks. Quarterback Jarren Williams beat out Ohio State transfer Tate Martell. We don't really know what to expect. He's big, he's got a good arm, he's athletic. There are a lot of things to like about Williams, but again, tons of question marks, especially because his left tackle is a true freshman, and on the opposite side of the offensive line at right tackle, we have a redshirt freshman. So tons of concerns against an elite Gators defense that really thrived at the end of the 2018 season. And this could shape up to be a difficult day for both offenses, and hence we have a total at 47. Personally, I'm a little bit inclined to lean with the under and actually roll with where the money seems to be going. As we record this video, 80% of the total is on the under at reporting legal sports books. One thing to know in terms of trends, the under is 14-9 in games in August, when the total number from open to close drops between 2 and 3 points. And for that reason, I'm going to be on the under in this game. All right, so let's get into the side on this a little bit. First thing we want to look at, maybe why would we want to play Miami? All right, so there are a few things that are working in their favor, and the thing that I want to focus on is the fact that we're talking about 7.5 points early in the season in August, and there are some trends and there is some data that supports a play on the Hurricanes in this spot. Teams favored between 6 and 9 points, like the Gators are in this game, are only 12, 19, and 1 against the spread, dating back to the 2006 season. When we take that spread range and we make it from 7 to 9, they're only 7 and 15 ATS. So early season games in that touchdown to 10-point range, favorites typically have not covered this early in the season, something to think about. Also, teams favored between 6 to 8 points when the game total is at 46 to 48. We're at 47 in this one. In non-conference games, again, 6 to 8 points total between 46 to 48. We're at 47. Those teams are 23, 31, and 1 in non-conference games. So there have been some historical, more general trends that support a play on the Hurricanes. Couple reasons to like the Gators on the other hand. First of all, Dan Mullen is a good coach when favored. He's 42 and 31 ATS as a favorite, and when he's favored between 7 and 10 points, he is 7 and 3 as a head coach. So I like the fact that he's good as a favorite. I like the fact that he has a good cover rate in this spread range. Also, when you look at it, Florida had a lot of success against the spread last year. They were 9 and 4 overall ATS, whereas the Hurricanes struggled at 5 and 8. So recent history, Florida's been a better bet than the Hurricanes have been as well. And then I look at the conference matchups. Most of us would agree that the SEC overall, top to bottom, is a superior conference to the ACC. I don't think you would get an argument against that. One thing you should consider then, ACC underdogs between 7 to 10 points are 0-5 against the spread dating back to the 2014 season and are 1-6 when we expand that range between 7 and 13 points. So with this specific spread range, the SEC has been dominant over the ACC. Just some generalized trends to consider. And then when we look at this game from a contextual standpoint, this is what I can't get over. A redshirt freshman at right tackle for the Hurricanes, a true freshman at left tackle, an inexperienced quarterback against a veteran defense, a top 10 defense potentially in the country this season. I think that's a bad matchup for Manny Diaz's team in its first game. No doubt about it that Miami will factor in the ACC as the season goes along, and this offense will probably get better, but this is a big ask to stick with this Gators team early in the season. On the flip side of it, I like that Felipe Franks protects the ball. I think that Dan Mullen is an excellent coach. I think he's going to continue to grow, Franks will, in Mullen's system, and I do like the fact that they return a veteran running back in Pirine, and for all of those reasons, I would lean on laying the 7.5 with the Florida Gators on Saturday night.